I wish I stayed at home. Welcome back to another match reaction. West Ham United 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. And yeah, this is your match reaction. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you are new. That was shit. I've not seen a 0-0. I've not been to a 0-0 home game in ages. I'm genuinely looking back at, like, I think past couple of seasons we haven't had that. We didn't have that for the past 3 seasons that have come back as a season ticket holder. Last 0-0 game at home must have been in lockdown, because I don't remember post-lockdown there being a 0-0 home game. So I'm thinking going to a game, either it must have been in the first season at the London Stadium in a 16-17 season, where I was a season ticket holder then, or it was at Upton Park. Like, that's how long it's been since I've seen a home 0-0 game. Our last 0-0 game must have been, from the top of my head, was the 2021 season in general, Burnley away. I think that was our last 0-0 game, because we didn't have one last season, I don't think. There was like a record, like someone said a record, someone brought it up as a record when we faced Man United, and it was looking like a 0-0 game in that game. So I guess a 0-0 has been coming. But we kept 4 clean sheets in a row, and you've got to give credit to the defence, and I guess Moyes got what he wanted. Because he didn't really try to win the game. So getting a draw is probably what he wanted, and probably what he was going for in the away game anyway. We just had more attacking presence. We had Antonio then, and Benrahma came off the bench and made an impact, whereas Benrahma today was fucking awful. You got to get rid of the ugly twins, and when I mean the ugly twins, I mean Benrahma and Fornals, 2 people that are cult heroes that for bringing us to this spot of getting European football, but can no longer get us any further. That's just me being honest. Like, they can't. They're too inconsistent. Fornals been on the right, on the left, in the middle. Doesn't matter where he plays. He's just not good enough anymore. I know people don't like Fornals slander because he does West Ham are massive everywhere we go, and people want to shag him and stuff like that. But I don't want to shag him personally. I don't know about you, but I personally don't want to shag Pablo Fornals. So I'm going to say it like this. He's just not good enough anymore. And when we was playing that fluid counter-attacking football, he was great. Like, hard work, running off the ball merchant, and counter-attacks, and his weird finish of slide tackling a ball right at the end when he finishes. The guy can't shoot anyway. We saw him try to take a shot, it's right at the keeper. This guy cannot shoot. He cannot pass the way people say he can pass. You get one ball over the top every 20 games and people start chizzing their pants over one ball over the top. But the man can't even pass 5 yards, so Bowen was just left on his own. And Benrahma, I don't want to hear anything about playing time, confidence. Stop this. He can't test the keeper, can't even test a man one-on-one. He's been dropped for the Algeria squad, probably because he's lost his relationship with the manager. But he's been dropped for Sofiane Feghouli, which is very ironically funny. So he's not even going to the AFCON, which is probably bad for us, because Maxwell Cornet doesn't get a game. Another man who hasn't been called up for the AFCON, but he hasn't played, does he? That's a man who hasn't had playing time. A man who gets judged off 2-minute cameos every 15 games when he comes on, who can't even get minutes today. At least Divine Mubaba got the minutes of sitting back as a striker, 20 minutes of defending, and not getting the ball to him at all either. The guy is near the edge of our own box. This is park the bus football. If we're going to do this, then sign park the bus players. We need a left winger. We need a striker. We need a right back to help Sufel. We need a left back to help Emerson. We need a centre back because, again, it's shit. We need a defensive midfielder because if Alvarez is gone, the midfield is unbalanced. I've just named a lot of positions there. If you want a good squad, those are the positions you need. Brighton played some good stuff in the second half. They didn't do anything in the first half. They didn't do anything in the first 15 minutes of the second half, but they should have put like 4 past us in the end. We should have scored with Souček, and Mavropanos should have scored in the first half. Played well today, but should have scored in the first half. Souček did nothing today. Credit for your 4-year contract and all that. And cool, you could probably be a squad player in the future, but you can't start week in, week out. You don't contribute in 90 minutes. And you should have scored that chance because that's your bread and butter. That's what people jizz about with Souček. He scores goals. So why didn't you score that one? You were right, 5 yards out. We need a goal. Save us again, Thomas. I'm not going to go in on him too much, but credit to Ben Johnson, someone who went way above my expectations, because I have no expectations of him, and I still think he is a terrible, terrible footballer. But you played well today. You played well at Anfield. Cool. I'll give you your props. It doesn't mean in the long term that I think that we should keep you. Emerson, good as always, because it's Emerson Palmieri. This guy has been the West Ham's best player of the season. Him or Areola. Areola with another fantastic performance. Ogbonna held his own. He held his own. Nothing was given to Ward-Prowse today. I didn't see him on the ball. Like, barely on the ball, because we didn't have the ball. Edson Alvarez, I thought, played well, apart from one flick, trying to get out of position, and that was it. Other than that, I think Edson Alvarez played really well, covered every ground, every blade of grass and all that bollocks. But doing what a defensive midfielder should be, that's why it's so important to have him fit all the time. So I hope whatever he picked up at the end, because he looked like he was struggling at the end, same with Ogbonna, Souček and Johnson, that they're fine as well, because we need everyone fit. And if Johnson isn't fit and Soufal is still ill and Kerr is getting sold, then who are we going to play? Levi Lang? Is Levi Lang going to play? From the academy, is Ryan Battram going to play? Like, these are youth right backs. I feel like it'll just be Mavropanos at right back, because Moyes is allergic to youth. And I'm not saying play the youth for the sake of it. I'm not one of them fans either. I don't want a youth projects, you know, one of them trendy hipster stuff. But some of the youth are good enough. Some of the youth won FA Youth Cup. It's worth putting out there. And I think some of them could hold their own. They're hungry players. Like, so I'm not saying play any of these youth players for the sake of it. Going into Bristol City, we need to just win the game. No, don't be one of the teams that are put on the headline because Bristol City caused an upset at the London Stadium, which I think could happen because it's the very West Ham thing to happen, and I've seen many cup upsets in my time as a West Ham fan, and I'm only 20 years old. So yeah, whatever. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to your new social media is in the description if you want to follow me in the email for the inquiries. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.